don't see how a world that makes such wonderful things could be bad.
Come on, you all-unfortunate souls! Go ahead! Make your choice! I'm a very busy woman and I haven't got all day. It won't cost much. Just your voice.
Welcome back to Disney Marvels for week of November 3rd, 2019. This is episode 61. Disney Marvels, the show about Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilms, Muppets, Pixar, Fox, the parks, and much, much more. If it has to do with Disney, it's fair game. I'm your host, Matthew Graken. Whether you're planning your next Disney park vacation, cruise vacation, or you just don't know where to start, be sure to do what I do and contact my good friends at Destinations with Character Travel, the official travel partner of the Disney Marvels podcast. Email them at info@destinationswithcharacter.com or visit their website www.destinationswithcharacter.com and be sure that you tell them that the Disney Marvels podcast sent you. And stay tuned till after the show to find out how to get your free gift by mentioning this show's name. And now, on to the news. Disney Plus launches Tuesday, November 12th. Are you ready? I know I'm getting excited. In other news, Disney Cruise Line announced that it will be providing complimentary texting to crew members aboard their ships, making it easier for shipboard teams to stay connected with their loved ones while working away from home. As stated, we recognize how important it is for our crew members to be able to stay in touch with their families and friends and be proud to provide this benefit, says Jeff Vahal, president of Disney Cruise Line. This is another way to continue to provide great crew experiences for our shipboard team. Disney Cruise Line is the first major cruise line to provide this complimentary service. Crew members with iOS and Android devices will be able to send and receive text messages while on board for free. This service will launched at the end of October aboard the Disney Magic and will be available fleet-wide in the next few weeks. We'll be back after these short messages. It's about the holiday season time. And during the holiday season time, recently on network television, they've been producing a lot of live musicals. They'll take the Broadway shows of past, present, and just recently closed, and put on a live production of it for everyone to watch. Usually get some names in it, and they'll do up the exact production as it is on Broadway, more or less, with some editing, and do just a live feed of it. So it is literally live television. You are watching it as it's going on. ABC has not done this yet until November 5th. This past November 5th, Tuesday it was, ABC put on The Little Mermaid Live. And maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but as far as I was concerned, this was going to be the production of The Little Mermaid, either the Broadway version of it or a rendition of the movie in a live production of sorts. And I say that somewhat disappointed. And I guess I'll put it out here. The production is a Wonderful World of Disney production airing on ABC, which always is a good time, having the Wonderful World of Disney on television. Usually Sunday nights, this time Tuesday. Hey, whatever. The production was, and maybe this is my fault, again, not looking into it, where all the past ones, like I said, has been a full production of the show, more or less, within a 2-3 hour time constraint. This was if you're familiar with the Little Mermaid adventure, the Little Mermaid show in Disney Hollywood Studios in Florida, where it is you have live action mixed in with the movie. So you watch snippets of the movie and then you get some live performances of the songs. This was the same thing, except 2 hours of it. So you had 2 hours of watching the movie and then getting live performances mixed in. So there wasn't much in the way of actual. It wasn't a Broadway show, and it wasn't fully the movie. It kind of got a blend of the two, and I like I said, maybe it's my fault, and I did not know this going in. I know this is something that they've been working on for a few years to try and bring this to television, and they did for the 30th anniversary, and because Disney Plus is coming out, get some more hype going on about that, as if it needed any more. But frankly, if I wanted to watch the animated movie, I'd either pop in the Blu-ray or DVD, or wanted to see the animated movie. If I wanted to see, but I was tuning in to see the live action part. I was tuning in to see the people sing it. Maybe though, Disney did this on purpose because, well, you have this production coming out on ABC, which they announced not too long ago, so it was kind of quick. But then you also have the live action movie coming out in 2 years, not even, less than 2 years. That, well, why would you kind of compete with yourself in that aspect? I'm thinking. This version has Eloy Carvalho. Apologize, my Hawaiian's pretty bad. She did Ariel. If you don't know who she is, she's the voice of Moana. She was also in the TV production of Rise. You have Queen Latifah. If you don't know who she is, shame on you. New Jersey own Queen Latifah. She portrayed Ursula. She's from Chicago. Hairspray, The Queen Latifah Show, Girl Trip, The Wiz Live, etc., etc., etc. Her resume goes on for miles. Singing is nothing new to her, and neither is Ursula. She did one of those portraits of the Disney parks characters live, where she was, strange enough, Ursula. Graham Phillips was Eric. He's from The Good Wife in Riverdale. Then you have John Stamos. Again, don't know who he is. Shame on you. He played Chef Louis in this one. He's from Full House, Gallivant, Grandfathered, Fuller House. He's been around. Nothing new. Amber Riley, primarily TV-wise, Glee and The Wiz. Other than that, she's actually done a number of Broadway things, some solo music. And then Shaggy, reggae artist. He was Sebastian. Amber Riley, I didn't mention the character because she wasn't a character. She was just a performer in the show. She did the Sebastian song at the beginning, where he introduced all the daughters. So instead of having the daughters sing the whole thing, Amber Riley sang it. Actually played out really nice. So that's your main cast. But I might as well. I could mention the movie cast, but at this point you should know who they are. So their voices were in. Frank Welker was Max, and you had Jodie Benson come out doing the Ariel to introduce the whole thing. So you kind of, like I said, it's strange. I was not expecting this. I liked it for what it was, but I couldn't help thinking I am sitting at the Hollywood studio seeing a longer version of that production, because that's really what it came down to. Flotsam and Jetsam, or two puppets being swum around on the stage. Ariel was on wires, so she was able to raise above the rock and swim around the audience, as it were. So that was good. Everyone's singing. Everyone's singing was nice. It was a live production, so obviously in doing the acrobats and stuff, it makes it a little more complicated. Where if you are not familiar with the Broadway production, they did not do that as much, but it was on rollerblades. If you're familiar with Starlight Express, the musical from the 80s, where they were around on roller skates the whole time, similar concept, These ones were on rollerblades to simulate the swimming and moving around. You had a bunch of puppetry mixed in for certain characters. Not Sebastian. Flounder was a puppet. Flotsam and Jetsam was a puppet. You had a bunch of people in big poofy costumes portraying the different animals. You had different effects like that. Some projected effects in the background. Some things I wonder if you'd only see from the TV production. The live audience in front didn't get to see it. Strange thing, and this is something that I've read a lot of reviews online, going one way to the other. People hating it, people loving it. Some people like myself a little more in the middle about it. That when Shaggy came out to do Under the Sea, he was just in a red outfit. Now, in the pre-production photos, he had rubber claws on his hand. In the live performance, he did not. Strange thing. Going to Les Poissons by John Stamos, the Chef Louis song, that the audience had claws on their hands for that point. Well, why couldn't Shaggy have the claws? Maybe he forgot it. Again, this is live production. Things happen. Someone left the prop out of the way. He just forgot to grab the prop when he ran out on stage. Yeah, but you know what? Having an actual Jamaican performing Sebastian, I thought was really cool. Shaggy having a very unique voice led a different flavor to the character. Not that he was portraying the character much in the movie, or the production, other than the songs, but it added his own flair to it. So I was down with that. I knowing who Shaggy is, Shaggy the reggae artist, not Shaggy from Hanna-Barbera's Scooby-Doo. I know what his voice is. I know what his style of music is, so I knew going in what to expect. I don't think everyone did. Maybe not everyone's familiar with him. So that kind of may have thrown some people off. Graham Phillips, Eric, fantastic. Queen Latifah, amazing. So John Stamos was John Stamos. He apparently he did. They did a 30th anniversary tribute at the Hollywood Bowl to the Little Mermaid. He was reprising the role. He did Chef Louis there as well, with some other people. And he was fine. They changed the song up. There was no Sebastian in that part for whatever reason. You did have other crabs. You had people dressed up as crabs running around. It still worked. It just seemed a little odd, but it still worked. Now, and this is kind of what threw me off. All right, you're doing this production, so I guess we're going to stick to the movie part. But they bring in two songs from the musical that they tied into it. Her Voice, which is one of Eric's solo songs, which plays off beautifully. Graham Phillips hit it wonderfully. And If Only, this was in the second act, which is a duet between Ariel and Eric. Strangely enough, it is after Ariel's lost her voice, so some people may lose the context. I mean, remember, this is a musical, so if someone's singing, it's not necessarily actually being sung in the world of the production. A lot of times songs are led for internal voice, and that was this case. So some people go, well, wait a second, she's lost her voice, how come she's singing? It's internal voice, people. That's how Broadway works. That you will get songs that are external voice, that are real-time, happening, conversation, being said to other people. Then you also have songs that are internal voice. You kind of have to be familiar with the medium to sometimes differentiate between the two. And that's something that they did here. Unfortunately, it may not have translated as well since this was not a full production. It was a mixture, a blending of the animated movie and the live production. What I was hoping was, again, for an actual Broadway production, to see the full thing would have been, I thought, really nice. If not, If not, something else that they could have done. And my Broadwayness geekiness is coming out on this one. That when they did several years ago, there was the 25th anniversary of Les Miserables that they put on at the O2. And what they did was a production of just the music, just the songs. It wasn't so much having to do with putting on the full performance, though everyone was in costume. They had kind of a generic set that they were part of, and at points they would act it out a little bit. They would act out the songs that they were singing, but you didn't have anything in between. Not that Les Miserables had anything much besides music, singing, but it was just pretty much a performance of the songs. That would have been, I think, really acceptable. That let's take not even the movie version. Let's take the musical, because there's more songs to offer in the musical than there is the animated movie, and put people in costume and have them perform it. You could have had the same cast, same lineup. You'd have to throw in a few more characters, but I think that would have played out nice, because you have some about 29 songs that could have been performed from the including the overture from the Little Mermaid Broadway musical. I mean, you get Fathoms Below's, then you have Triton's daughters, the Daughters of Triton, I'm sorry. But then you also have songs like World Above, Human Stuff, I Want the Good Times Back, which is Ursula kind of talking about her backstory, which I think a lot of people would have loved to see. One, hear that kind of song because of how popular Ursula is, and two, to have Queen Latifah perform it. Again, even better. Of course, then you got the Part of Your World, the Storm at Sea. But again, her voice, which was taken from the musical, they did that one, and that came across really well. And it was really nice. The casting for Eric played out the song very, very well. Under the Sea, The Sweet Child, Poor Unfortunate Souls, Positively, which is Scuttle's song. Scuttle gets a production number with Dancing Seagulls. Who would have liked to seen that? You're talking about a family show, The Wonderful World of Disney. Put on something that's got, that the kids will go bonkers for. Why wouldn't the kids love to see a chorus line of dancing seagulls across the stage, mispronouncing words and singing it in a way that is just selling it? And I think that's kind of where they missed the mark, is that you had too much of a blending of, is it the live action version of the animated movie? Is it just the animated movie? Is it the Broadway production? Let's blend all three together and give you something, a little bit of each, which is fine. But I don't think that's what the audience was completely hoping for. Again, if you want to show the animated movie, by all means, show the animated movie. Everyone loves it. My kids all love it. It stands the test of time. If you were doing the live version, like you said you were doing, hit the live version. But something tells me that the pencil pushers got in the way and say, wait a second, we got all this other stuff going on. We just don't have the budget to be able to pull this whole thing off. How can we scale it back? And then someone goes, okay, this is what we do in Florida. Why don't we do this? Except 2 hours of it. And they said, all right, how much is that going to cost? Well, we already have the movie. We just have to get some giant projectors and put them on, edit it into the feed. That would be easy to do. And then we'd just, come up with some cutscenes to transition. All right, there we go. That's how we scale it back, put on something new and live, and not have to do as much work, spend as much money, unfortunately. So I think sadly it showed. And you know me. I do not talk down about Disney. And I'm not really talking down about this, but I am analyzing it, saying, how they could have. They had so much potential, and so much proven things that they could work with here. And I don't think they took that into account. I guess either they wanted to be different. Like I said, the budgeting got tight, and, well, things didn't necessarily work out. So the casting I thought was great. Some people question about the casting. I love the casting. Um, you know, everyone fit their role very well. John Stamos I thought was interesting as Louis. But hey, I'm fine with it. I accept it. He worked out well. His performance was good. And again, knowing the actors actresses portraying the characters, you do realize, okay, this is their style, and this is how it's going to go, and that worked out great. Queen Latifah, Ursula, can't pick better casting, I think, for a live performance. And to be honest, my wife and I said months ago, whenever they were announcing the live action movie, the full movie version of it, that for Ursula, they need to go Queen Latifah. Why didn't they go Queen Latifah? Boom, here she is on the production. Disney, I'm sorry, it's not too late to be able to switch things up. Not that I think who they keep talking about to play Ursula is going to be a bad choice. I just think this is the better choice. I'll leave it at that. You know what? Even better, just take this cast, transpose it to the live movie version, and I think it'll work great. Not saying that the people that they don't have casted now won't be able to pull it off. Like I said, I just thought they did a good job of selecting who's going to play what with this one. Amber Riley, like I said, did not have a specific role, but she did add to it, strangely enough. You want to talk about, okay, just throwing someone in because of their star power and their voice. Yes, that's what she is. She is in there because she's a name. She could definitely sing. Her show that she's known for is now part of Disney, which is nice, a nice welcome addition. But so having Amber Riley's character, though, for that scene, even though that character does not exist in the movie, actually came across nicely and really, I think, added to that song. A song that's very brief in the movie. It's just a quick little blip saying, okay, we're going to introduce the main character. Here's Ariel. Oh, wait, she's not here because she's a wild child. Well, let's do that up a little more. And we made it as a longer production. You had a strong singer pulling it off, bringing in the production, so making it seem like there's a little more substance to it. So that worked out. And I just wish that you actually got more of the live action, the live part of Little Mermaid Live. And I think that's really where I'm struggling with this. And I've spoken to my family about this. My daughter just said the same thing. She's like, the live parts were good, but there really wasn't enough of the live parts. It was more just it was watching the movie, and we watched it again. So I could do my due diligence and look in, whenever I'm speaking about it, I saw it more than once to just make sure I get a second look at it. And the second look at it, I go, we just fast forward the movie parts because we've seen that, several times over the past 30 years as the movie was out. This is just another case of that. But what if we twist it like this? What if we use this and look at it at a different angle of it's a stepping stone to go from I'm thinking on the fly here, people. Sorry. It's a stepping stone to go from the animated movie and the live action coming out. This is a blend to the two to kind of transition from one to the other. Not that you've ever needed to do that in the past. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast. Prime example. We didn't need it for Beauty and the Beast. Why do we need it for The Little Mermaid? We didn't need for Cinderella. Why do we need for The Little Mermaid? Aladdin, definitely a need for that. $1 billion movie. Lion King, another $1 billion movie. I guess because you did get a little pushback from that. So that's. But it still made $1 billion. People were in the streets going about, I cannot stand the Lion King. It still made $1 billion, people. It couldn't be that bad. You don't have a bad movie make $1 billion. You have bad movies make money. You have bad movies that people go out and see. But if it really was that bad, you would not have $1 billion movie. And that's kind of my stand on that. I enjoyed The Lion King. Maybe, in the minority in some aspects. I thought, the whole production I enjoyed. Was it different? Yes, but I went in with the mindset not expecting to see the animated movie. And I think I might have done a review on that back over the summer. But this isn't about that. This is about The Little Mermaid. And I'm hoping that... Would I go and buy the soundtrack? I maybe it is available for purchase. Like I said, I liked the cast. I liked what they had to bring with it. So yeah, I guess I could go and buy the soundtrack because it's not the original. But it's got just 2 new songs. It just has 2 new songs that are good. But just 2 new songs. So where do we go from there? You tell me, what did you think of this production? Did you like the production? Did you like the casting? Or are you kind of scratching your head going, what were they thinking? Despite everything I just said, and I'm not going back on what I just said, I stand behind what I said. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the live production part of it. I just wanted more of the live production part of it, being that that's what you were advertising, The Little Mermaid Live. So, would I watch again? Yeah, because I enjoyed it. I enjoy The Little Mermaid. I enjoy the live action parts of it. Is it something that I would have paid to see in the theaters? No. If I knew what I was getting. I think this is what bothers, again, is kind of nagging at me, is that if I knew this going in, that it was going to be this merger, this marriage of the animated movie with the live action for the songs, I could have gone in with the expectation of that's what I'm going to go see. And again, maybe this is my fault, not knowing that that's kind of what I think keeps eating away at me here. How do you feel? Did you feel that way? Shout it out show me on the social, because I want to keep this discussion going. I want to hear what other people have to say. I like I said, read some of the views, but I actually want to have discussion with people about this. And join us on the socials. Facebook's the best place. Facebook.com/Disney Marvels Podcast. Again, that's Facebook.com/Disney Marvels Podcast, or on the Twitter at Disney Marvels. Twitter's another way that you get hold of us, at Disney Marvels. You could also email the show with your answer or even suggestions for the show of topics and ideas and stuff. Got a lot of things in the work. A lot of pots on the stove, hoping that I could bring you some interesting stuff in the near future. So email the show, disneymarvels@gmail.com. Again, the email address for the show is disneymarvels@gmail.com. Or you could even leave us a voice message through Anchor, either the Anchor app or the Anchor.fm website, which hosts this show. So Anchor.fm, you just go to Anchor.fm/Disney Marvels, and you will be able to leave a voice message here. I would love to hear from you personally. And hear voice. This is a podcast, so voices are great. Or even, like I said, through the Anchor app. Please, whatever your way, I want to hear from you. And I want to thank you for your time. I know how very little time we all have these days, especially with the holidays coming up, Halloween just finishing, Thanksgiving coming up in the United States. Christmas is around the corner. So let the madness and good times roll. But the fact that you've now spent some of this time, limited time with us, with me, means so much. It means so very much to me, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And if I could just ask you to take another moment of your time, tout the show. Go out and tell people about it. Tell them, hey, check out this podcast about Disney. And that the more people that find out about the show, the better it is, the bigger the family. Make sure to still become a subscriber and rate the show. If you don't feel like telling people about the show, at least go to iTunes and rate the show. And give us a 5-star review. If you could have another moment, just type something up. If not, just hit the little 5-star button, or whatever you feel it deserves. Preferably the 5 stars. It helps out. That way, honestly, it does help that way too. It really does help getting this, finding out about the show that way. The online reviews help enormously. So don't forget to subscribe to the show, so this way you always know when I put out a new episode. Episodes are posted. And while you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber to the show. You can do this over at anchor.fm/Disney Marvel Support. Again, the way to do this is anchor.fm/Disney Marvel Support, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. We keep things going that way. And whatever you're planning, like I said, told you at the top of the show, Destinations with Character Travel, it's a Disney earmark agency. What does that mean? They specialize in Disney cruises, resorts, vacations. They're in the business of making your dreams come true. They're made up of past cast members, annual pass holders, lifelong Disney fans. They're world travel enthusiasts, and they are in the know regarding all aspects of travel. Travel for you. How to make your life better whenever you're traveling and easier. And trust me, they're just really nice people. Come on. Whether your travels take you to Disney parks or an ocean cruise or on a sunny resort stay, they have the destinations and the service level to make your vacation a truly magical one. You'll find out how they take the stress and hassle out of your vacation so you can enjoy yourself. And really, isn't that what vacations are supposed to be about? At least in our mind, that's what we were looking for, and these people will help you get there. Book a Disney 5-night package with a 4-day hopper. If you book that with them and you mention the Disney Marvel podcast, you get a $25 Disney gift card free just for mentioning the Disney Marvel podcast. $25 in your pocket for going on vacation for just mentioning that you listened to my show. How about that? So you contact them at www.destinationswithcharacter.com or email them at info@destinationswithcharacter.com. Again, the website is www.destinationswithcharacter.com or email them at info@destinationswithcharacter.com. And again, make sure you tell them that you heard about them on the Disney Marvels podcast. I know how dark. Yeah, this time of the year, it's getting darker earlier, and things may seem to be getting a little more stressful, a little harder to deal with. The stress of the holidays, the end of the year, things become, for whatever reason, scientists have come up with a lot of different reasons, but just things sometimes just seem harder now. Either with schoolwork, with regular work, with just life in general. Don't let it overcome you. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't ever think that you're not worth it. Because you are. Whatever you're facing, whatever difficulties that are ahead that you're dealing with in your life, trust me, you are not alone. Though it may seem like it at the moment, you are not. And you alone, you personally have the power to overcome this. That you are strong enough, you are worth it. There is a light inside of you that you can find, grab hold of, and embrace it. And you be your own hero. Don't expect someone else necessarily to do the work for you. You have to take that first step. And once you take that first step, you'll realize that you can accomplish greatness. I'll end this show this week with a quote from the man himself, Walt Disney. I like symphonic music. A good concert, if you're kind of relaxed, it can do something to you. It's sort of an emotional break you get by listening to music. And that's by Walt Disney. Thank you again, everyone, for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Under the sea, under the sea, nobody beat us, tie us and eat us in fricassee. We who the land most love to cook. Still like that to take a look. Why look for trouble?